What's up guys, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my art channel. Today I'm back on my couch in a frumpy sweater, have some iced coffee here, and I don't really know what to call these kinds of videos where I'm just like chatting, relaxing, I don't really know like what to call this little talky series that I've kind of been doing more of here on my channel. So if you have any suggestions for like what I should name this series, let me know. But today's video, I'm finally going to be doing the Starving Artists tag. Mimi S tagged me like about a month ago already, and I'm finally getting around to filming it, so sorry it's a little late. But I'm super excited to be answering the questions. I have them pulled up here on my computer, so I'm just going to be reading off of the questions there. So if I'm looking down, that's why. So let's just get started with the questions. Number one, what's your favorite experience as an artist? I think the thing that I love most about being an artist is not the finished product. I think I like the process of creating more than I like the end result. So I like when I get a new idea and I'm just super excited to sketch it out. I love that feeling. I love when I think to myself, what would a character look like if they had such and such features, or an outfit like this, or hair like that? And then being able to actually draw it out and create these images in my head on paper. And that's just, it's so surreal. I think that's my favorite part about being an artist. Number two, what's your least favorite experience as an artist? I feel like this is going to be a common one. And if you've said this to an artist at any point, don't worry. Just be wary that a lot of artists get kind of irritated by this. And that's when people say, can you draw blank? Or can you draw me? Or you should draw this character from this show. Or you should draw me dressed as a fairy princess. And it's like, no, I don't want to draw you as a fairy princess. I don't want to draw you at all. Sorry, you're beautiful, but I don't want to draw you. I'm sorry. Number three, what are your dreams or goals for your art? Pretty much just to like what I do. The only reason that I'm doing art is because it makes me happy. And if it doesn't make me happy anymore, then I won't do it anymore. The only goal that I have for myself is just to challenge myself, better myself, and just take pride in the work that I do. That's it. Number four, what's your favorite medium and why? Do I have to say it? Do I even really need to say it? Copic markers, just by far. That's pretty much the only medium I use. I feel like I've been using it for 7 years now, consistently, and I haven't really wavered. My feelings for it have not changed. I do like watercolors too, but not as much as Copic markers. Number five, what inspired you to do art and why do you love it? Basically, I come from a family of artists. My dad's an artist. One of my aunts is an artist. Like 5 of my cousins are artists, at least. So I've always been exposed to creative people, and I've always been around people that have encouraged me to do something creative. Especially my dad. My dad has just really been so encouraging. Both my parents have, but my dad especially, because he's an artist. He really pushed me and encouraged me to just never stop drawing and to always, do something creative. So that's a big part of what inspired me to do art. And then why do you love it? I love how much I feel like myself when I do art, and I can be vulnerable and I don't feel scared, or I can be weird and I don't care, or I can be mad and be unapologetic about how I feel. That's why I love art. Number 6, what's your favorite piece you've ever made and why is it special? think I answered this in my Q&A, but if you haven't watched that video, traitor, then I'll answer it again here. My favorite piece I've ever made is the piece that I titled Escape. I'll insert a picture of it right here. I made it back in like 2009, 2010, and it's still one of my favorite pieces. I still have the original. I don't ever want to sell it. It just has a lot of meaning for me because I think it kind of symbolizes me coming into my own and kind of growing into my own body and my own skin and who I am as a person. When I was younger, I was really shy. I was really dependent on others. And now I feel like I've just grown so much more as a person. And at the time when I made that piece, I was slowly beginning to realize that the person that I am now is the person that I wanted to be. And it was just kind of like a coming of age piece for me, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does, but there you go. Number 7. Who/what are your biggest art influences? Music is a huge influence for me. I've talked about that a lot before too. But some of the main artists that have influenced me, just to name a few, Adam Hughes, obviously, if you love comic books, superheroes, anything, Adam Hughes is probably an inspiration to you too. He's one of my favorite artists of all time. I love how when he draws Catwoman, she looks like Audrey Hepburn. I love that. Lemia Crescent here on YouTube, she's just so humble and she has such a unique style. She's just a really sweet and beautiful person. And another artist, I think her name's Darcy Robbins. I'm pretty sure it is. But she goes by the name Lettybug on social media, and she's just a huge inspiration to me, and she's also been one of my biggest role models for a long time now. And also just everybody on YouTube in general. Inspiration finds you wherever it finds you. It's not really something you control. So I find inspiration in lots of little things, but those are the people and the things that really get me in the mood to draw. Number 8. What did you learn from being a full-time artist? I ain't no full-time artist. I work a regular job, part-time, and I do YouTube. And so far on YouTube, I've made like $50. So there was a reason I didn't want to become a full-time artist, and it wasn't the money. That wasn't why. Being a starving artist is one of those things that is kind of attributed with artists. But there's no shame in making money off of your art. But the reason I didn't want to be a full-time artist was because I don't like people telling me what to draw. See question 2. When somebody tells me that I should draw a certain way or draw a certain thing, it kills it for me. I no longer find joy in what I make. That's why I don't do a lot of commissions. So that's why I'm not a full-time artist, and I learned a lot about myself when I had to think about whether or not I wanted to be a full-time artist. So no shame to people that are full-time artists. My dad is a graphic designer. He's killer at it, so I get people being full-time artists. It's hard work. It's commendable work. It's not for me. Should I even be doing this tag? I don't know. Number 9, what do your family and friends think about you being an artist? I kind of already touched on this a little bit, but let's just say when I told my parents that I didn't want to go to art school, it was like a child of 2 doctors telling their parents that he didn't want to go to medical school. It was weird for my parents that I didn't want to go to art school, but it's one of those things that I'm still doing it anyway, so I guess it's not that weird. But my family has always been extremely supportive. My friends have always been extremely supportive, and I'm very, very fortunate for that. I really feel for you guys that don't have a strong support system at home or in your friend circle. your friends don't like that you do art, find better friends, first of all. But your family, it gets a little bit harder, and I really do feel for you guys because that's rough. But I'm very, very fortunate that my family likes that I draw weird anime characters. Thanks, Mom. Dad. Number 10. Was becoming an artist your childhood dream? If not, what is? Yes. I always wanted to be an artist when I was a kid until I realized that it meant a lot of other people telling you, you should draw this, you should draw that, you should do it this way, you're doing it wrong, you draw eyes too big, your foreheads are too big. Killed all of the childhood dream. No, it's not. I'm still an artist. It's just not my job. So yeah, this is kind of my childhood dream in a way. It was really the only job that I ever saw myself doing for a really, really long time. And then as I got a little bit older, I was like, you know, your passion and your career don't always have to be the same thing. So it is still my biggest passion, and it has been since I was a kid. Number 11, what advice can you give to people who want to be more artistic and creative? No time like the present. Now is a great time to start trying out art or doing something creative. It's a big scary jump at first, but then you're kind of like, hey, this is cool. Maybe it doesn't look as great as somebody else's, but I made it, and that's what makes it special. Everybody starts somewhere. We all start, you know, doodling stick figures, and people who say they can't draw stick figures, you're freaking lying. You know, it's just one of those things. Everybody kind of sucks a little bit in the beginning, and then you just get better. So just, yeah. All artists make bad art sometimes. It's just part of being an artist, and don't let the fear of making bad art deter you from making art at all. Number 12, were you supported to pursue art as a child? Yes, big time. So I don't know if I've talked about this a lot on my channel, but from the time I was 8 years old, I participated in this thing called the Spanish market. There was an adult Spanish market for adult artists, and then there was a children's Spanish market for children. And children had to have adult sponsors, and my aunt was an adult artist, so she sponsored me and two of my cousins, and we would basically paint paintings in watercolor. They were paintings of like traditional Catholic saints, because I grew up in New Mexico, so it's kind of a big like cultural art thing, and I'm Hispanic, so it was a big part of my culture growing up. So we would draw these paintings, they're called retablos, and we would sell them for one weekend every summer at the Spanish market and make money. That's how I bought my first Nintendo DS. I bought myself a $400 chair once when I was like 11, because I was like balling, and I was like, I have this money saved up, I'm gonna buy myself a nice chair. I was like it's like a weird story, but yeah, my parents did pursue me to do art as a child. So I did the Spanish market from the time I was 8 till I was 17, and then when I was 15, I think I was 15 or 16, I had my first one-woman art show, and that was really cool too. So yeah, my parents have always been like very supportive of me and my art. Anything that I put my mind to, they were like, let's do it, yeah. So yeah, I bought myself a $400 chair because I would like make money off of tourists buying art over the summer. Number 13, do you make money off of your art? Let's just say 8-year-old me was a lot more of a baller than 22-year-old me is. I don't make that much money off of my art. I have to say technically yes I do, because I do YouTube, I monetize my videos, so I get like a very, very small income from that, but YouTube doesn't even like send you that money until like a certain point. It's complicated. So yes and no. I have made money off of my art in the past, so it's not something that's like new or foreign to me. It's just not something that happens often. Number 14, what do you want to improve on, and what do you aspire to be with your future art? just a couple of things that I want to improve on the long list that I have going. Male faces and poses, anatomy in general, perspective, foreshortening, architecture, backgrounds, feet, because what the hell are feet? Like, feet are the most complicated thing on the entire human body. Hands, and I want to also improve on drawing like different skin tones. That's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and basically just pushing myself a little bit farther. I want to get better at doing more dynamic lighting and not being afraid to use darker colors. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Just in general, I just want to like improve a little bit on everything, but those are the some of the big ones that really stand out. Number 15, what feelings do you try and express in your art? Pretty much whatever I'm feeling at the time that I'm making it. I don't ever convey just one emotion in my art. It really just depends on how I'm feeling that day, and that's what art is. Art is my thoughts and my feelings and my emotions on paper. So, the more you know. Number 16, what is your favorite thing to paint and why? I like paint, well, I don't paint, I draw mostly. So my favorite thing to draw would probably be hair. I like to draw females in general, but females with just like massive amounts of like long, luscious, wavy hair, that's my favorite thing to draw. Number 17, what's the strangest thing you've painted or drawn? For a drawing class that I took while I was still in high school, it was through my local community college. We had to like pick a subject matter to like draw in still life form throughout the semester. So I had this sock monkey at home, and I brought the sock monkey to class, and we had to combine like two items, like two still life items. So somebody brought a camera, so I drew a sock monkey with a camera for a face, and I called it Big Brother. It was like really dark and eerie, and I just like left it there too. I like never took it home. I was like, no, this is just gonna linger here forever. They called me so many times to pick it up, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave it there forever. That's definitely the weirdest thing I've ever drawn. Number 18, have you ever been hung up after you started a commission, and how did you handle it? I don't think I've ever personally experienced this because, like I said, I don't accept commissions very often. And if I do, I always try and ensure that it's a commission that I'm very confident in doing. If I accept a commission, it's because I know that I have the skills to complete that commission to the best of my abilities. And I think that a struggle that a lot of artists face is they open up commissions and then they don't specify any restrictions on those commissions. So, you know, you have somebody that says, wow, you're really good at drawing, female sci-fi characters. Will you draw a portrait of my dog? And you're kind of like, I think in that kind of situation, I think happens a lot. And I think a lot of artists are tempted to say yes because it's a commission offer and maybe they really need the money. But the thing is, you're not Cheesecake Factory. And I'm going to explain what that means in a minute. If you were in a live stream that I did not too long ago, you may have been here for this conversation. But you are not Cheesecake Factory. If you've ever been to Cheesecake Factory, it's a restaurant, it's a chain restaurant. Their menu is like massive. It's just huge. You go to Cheesecake Factory, they have tacos, they have pizza, they have pasta, they have Chinese food, like everything. Artists are not like Cheesecake Factory. The thing about Cheesecake Factory is, even though they have all sorts of different kinds of food, none of the food that they make is really like the best in its class, you know? So if you want Mexican food, bomb Mexican food, then you don't go to Cheesecake Factory. You go to a bomb Mexican restaurant, like the best Mexican restaurant, and that's where you get the best Mexican food. That's where you get the best Chinese food. That's where you get the best Italian food. You don't get it from a like catch-all kind of place like Cheesecake Factory. How that relates to artists doing commissions is artists do the few things that they do, their set of skills are unique to them. And the few things that they do really, really well. And I think people that are non-artists tend to look at artists like, oh, they can draw one thing, they can probably draw everything. But that's not the case. So I think if you're getting hung up on commissions, think about really narrowing down your skill set and putting restrictions on the commissions that you offer, because you really want your commissions to embody your best work. And it's not going to be your best work if it's something that you're not the best at doing or something that you're not comfortable doing. So don't force yourself to be Cheesecake Factory. Stick with what you know, stick with what you do, and people will commission you for that. And if they want to commission you for something else, politely decline. You will not be hung up on commissions if that is the case, and I think you will be a little bit more relieved. So, yeah, that was my really long, drawn-out answer to number 18. Number 19, do you admit that paint smells good? I've seen other people answer this question. The only paint that I really work with is like watercolors, and they do have like a somewhat delightful earthy scent. Like they kind of smell like dirt, but like clean dirt. Like it's not bad. Would I buy it in an air freshener? No. No. Number 20, what would you tell your younger self? Kind of the same thing that I just told you guys with Cheesecake Factory. It's like a stupid example, but I think it makes a lot of sense. But just not to pressure myself to be any one thing. I can be lots of things. I can be a different thing every day, and that's fine. I don't need to always be one thing or the same thing. And at the end of the day, I do this for me and not for anybody else. The fact that you guys like what I do is great, but if I woke up tomorrow and this didn't make me happy anymore, I would stop doing it. Art is something that has always been for me. I've been incredibly selfish with my art. It's always been about me. It's always been something that I want to do, and because I want to do it, and it's going to stay that way. If I make money off of it, great. If I don't, great. If people like watching my videos, awesome. But if they don't, that's fine too. This is for me, and it's about me expressing myself, keeping myself grounded, and keeping myself balanced. And that's something that I've been telling myself for a lot of years, and I think if I had even told myself that at a younger age, it would have been even better. So don't pressure yourself to be something that you're not. You are what you are, and that is more than enough. I feel like this is just like a mix of sassy and then like inspirational Tumblr quotes. Does that make sense? Okay, well that's the end of the tag. This has already been a super long video, and for that I apologize, but we knew it was coming, right? Like, what did you expect? So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you didn't die. If you did, whoops. But anyways, I will see you guys Friday with my Artsy Fartsy Friday video for the week. So until then, take care. Bye. I can't reach it. Oh, I can't do the outro if you can't reach it. Sad.